All right, first I'd like to thank Stephen for a wonderful performance. Good afternoon, my name is Ryan Everly, and I am pleased to be the Master of Ceremonies for today's National Eagle Court of Honor, celebrating the rank of Eagle for Christophe M, Alex Ronka, and Jonathan Holovitz. Please rise for the presentation of the colors. If you're in uniform today, or you're a veteran of our armed services, it's appropriate for you to salute the U.S. flag as it passes by. Others may hold your right hand over your heart.
Audience, attention. Color guard, attention. Forward march. Skyhand salute. Color guard, halt. Color guard, prepare to post the colors. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard, post the colors. Scout sign. Please join me in the scout oath. As scout, on my honor, I'll do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. 2. Color guard, reform. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, fall out. Troop at ease. Audience may be seated.
Thank you, Troop 200 Honor Guard. Now I would like to ask Pastor Holly Mikhail Larson, pastor of Our Savior's Lutheran Church, to give the invocation.
Before I pray, on behalf of Our Savior's Lutheran Church, I want to thank particularly the Troop 200 and the leaders. Thank you for all the energy and the service and the joy you bring to this congregation. You do so much around here, and you really reach this church out into the community, so thank you very much. With that, let us pray. Oh, gracious and holy God, I thank you for those who are receiving their eagle today. I thank you for the ways that you have moved in them, stirred curiosity, and helped them to become who they are today. I thank you for their families, for their friends, for the troop leaders who have supported them. May these three today be like Esther and realize that they have been called for a time such as this, that this is not an ending but a beginning, that they are being called out into the world to use these tools to serve all those around them. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Holly. I now invite Bill Liu, Unity's district representative, to please come forward and officially open this National Court of Honor.
This red candle represents the spirit of scouting, a spirit that burns brightly in the heart of every scout. On this beautiful June 8th day in Lafayette, California, by the power vested in me by the National Council of the Boy Scouts of America, I hereby duty, convene this Eagle Court, a national court of honor, a special event to present Eagle Scout Awards to Christopher M, Alexander Frankie, and Jonathan Olivets.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. As Mr. Liu stated, today's ceremony is a national court of honor. The ceremony marks the end of a long journey, a journey along the trail to Eagle. When a boy becomes a Boy Scout, he is instilled with the spirit of scouting, represented by the candle lit by Mr. Smith. Because this spirit of scouting embodies the principles of the Scout Oath and Law, it is a shining beacon of inspiration. Alone, this light may be feeble, but when multiplied by the millions of boys in scouting, it can become very powerful indeed. So these 12 candles represent the 12 points of the Scout Law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. You see how the light from this spirit of scouting grows and becomes stronger. These are the basic ideals of scouting to which each boy subscribes when he becomes a Boy Scout. Pathway to Eagle can be described as a steep trail leading up to the highest peak, being that of Eagle Scout. The first rank is Scout.
I am a new Scout. I wear the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of the scouting around the world. The three parts of the fleur-de-lis represent the three parts of the Scout Oath, which I am preparing to live.
I am a tenderfoot Scout. To the fleur-de-lis on my badge have been added an eagle and a shield, representing my country, and 2 stars representing truth and knowledge.
I am a second-class Scout. My badge is a scroll inscribed with the Scout motto, "Be prepared," and suspended from this scroll is a knot, reminding me to do a good turn at the end.
I'm a first-class Scout. My badge shows the complete Scout emblem, fleur-de-lis, eagle and shield and scroll, indicating that I have completed my basic Scout training.
I am a Star Scout. Before me lie endless opportunities, just like the stars in the night sky. I can shine as brightly as any of them.
I am a Life Scout, almost an eagle. The heart on my badge shows that I've taken scouting's lessons to heart. I'm ready to spread my wings.
To attain the highest rank in scouting, our candidates were active in the troop and the patrols for at least 6 months, showing Scout spirit and leadership. They earned 10 more merit badges for a total of 21, 12 of which were from the required list for Eagle. They planned, developed, and gave leadership to a service project, which was helpful to their school, religious institution, or community. They passed a troop and district board of review. Today, you will witness the presentation of their well-earned Eagle Scout Rank Award.
Thank you. Our inspirational message will be given by Colonel John Spar. He's the founding member, or the founding Scoutmaster of Troop 200, a distinguished commissioner, a District Award of Merit honoree, and a recipient of the Council's highest honor, the Silver Beaver Award. He's a 33-year BSA veteran, bicentennial Eagle Scout, recipient of the OA Visual and Wood Badge honors, and has been bestowed with the Servant of Youth, God of Service, and Lutheran Lamb National Adult Religious Awards. John now serves on the MDSC's International Committee and has assisted our council and district in countless ways. He's led adventures through the Sierras, down the Class 4 whitewater rapids, far underground, high in the skies, and deep under the sea. As Colonel Spar, he served in the Air Force for 30 years, twice as a commander, and was also mobilized twice. While active on duty, John served as an Inspector General, Fire Marshal, and Base Civil Engineer. In his civilian career, he's a licensed architect, a certified construction specifier, a professional design builder who leads multidisciplinary teams. As an architect of
Just skip the view.
As an architect of record, he's designed over 100 different schools, banks, and other public projects, as well as our council's scout shop. John and his wife Jennifer have two sons who both served as elected senior patrol leaders and OA Aponic chiefs, and who are Troop 200 Eagle Scouts number 1 and 4. Gordon, an Air Force captain, C-17 and KC-135 pilot, aircraft commander, and graduate of both the Air Force Academy and Air Force Institute of Technology. And Owen, who works as a customer service representative in the Operations Center of Santa Barbara Airbus, and is a graduate of both Diablo Valley College and UC Santa Barbara.
Thank you for that really nice welcome. I finished up some business in Honolulu yesterday, and I had to take a red eye back, so if I seem a little groggy at times, I got rationale for doing it. But I was not going to miss this. I've been waiting for this event for a long time. I have known John there since he was, yay high? And I've known Alex since he was maybe yay high. I don't think you were ever this high. He's always been pretty tall. And Christophe and I recently met, and I'm really impressed. I was talking to your dad, Todd, last week about your NYLT experience. And, I look forward to learning more about your leadership experiences. Anyway, it's always a pleasure to be invited back to Troop 200, and especially for a National Eagle Scout Corps of Honor. I want to welcome all of you to OSLC, like Pastor Holly did. My wife Jennifer and I have been members here for 25 years now. And so I hope you enjoy the facilities. As Pastor Hawley mentioned, the congregation here is just thrilled to have this troop associated with it. So keep up the great work. We started operations in Troop 200 on January 1st, 2006, with just 5 scouts and a vision, really a dream, really, that we could create together the most fantastic scout troop that would be the envy of all of Mount Diablo Silverado Council. And I think on this count, we've succeeded greatly because, what other troop can boast, 1,000 community hours and $20,000 plus donations annually, 9 Silver Beaver recipients. And now, look at this, we're here today, going to honor we're now up to 60 Eagle Scouts, man. In 13 years, that's a pretty decent record when you think about it. As the founding Scoutmaster, I've been looking forward to the day when I knew that this troop was sustainable. I believe we've hit that point. Okay? This unit is going to continue on and continue to get strong. I mean, we're on the verge of being 100 members strong, right? It's fantastic. And now, we have the addition of young women. And I just think it's really a great way that we've been able to serve this community. So one of the other things that we've always said is that, these Eagle Scout Corps of Honor are really not for the recipients per se. I mean, those guys already know they're cool. They've already attained the height that they need to be. There's really kind of 3 distinct groups that we do this for. Number 1 is the parents, right? Parental units. And we do this for their benefit because, hey, listen, they have done a terrific job getting these young guys up to this point, right? So round of applause for parents.
You know, the other group is kind of extended family and friends, because what the heck, we like a party. Okay, we want to bring those people in, and also they've been also influential in helping them, and sometimes in small ways, but they've all invested in you in some fashion. I mean, I know you guys all know people that have taken the time to show you things, and today they're collecting the dividends, and this is a great thing for them, right? And certainly then the third group are these young men and now women, okay, who are also still on the Eagle Trail. And so if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to kind of focus the rest of this talk a little bit on you folks, all right? So I hope that all of you are encouraged to earn the rank of Eagle Scout. It's a fairly elite club, you know. There's includes presidents and astronauts and generals and CEOs and heroes and other celebrities, as well as just regular people like me. But anyone who is an Eagle Scout, and by the way, once you become an Eagle Scout, you are an Eagle Scout for life. They all have at least one thing in common. They stuck with the program and they got it done. Personally, I've always believed that the individual requirements to earn the Eagle rank, taken by themselves, are all piece of cake, right? All simple things. The hard part is sticking with the program. Because particularly here in La Miranda, where you have so many different options for ways to spend your time and whatnot, things to detract from your attention, right? The hard part really is staying the course. And so I'm going to encourage all you guys to do that. I want to share with you some words that were written by an Eagle Scout celebrity, a fellow by the name of Mike Rowe. You might know him from TV shows like Dirty Work, and, you know, on Discovery Channel or CNN's Somebody's Got to Do It. As well as Ford and other commercials, and, you know, podcasts, and even a Facebook series called Returning the Favor. Check it out. Anyone fortunate enough to have attended the 2010 National Scout Jamboree got to hear Mike entertain the crowd in the big arena. And in 2012, the BSA saw fit to present Mike with the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award, which is no small feat. But anyway, because he's famous and he's an approachable, nice guy, a dad wrote to Mike for help, because apparently there were some friends who were trying to get his son to drop out of Scouts. I guess they thought it wasn't cool. So Mike wrote a note to the dad's son, and it goes like this. Your dad asked me to drop you a line and say something inspirational that might persuade you to dig deep and find the determination to make the rank of Eagle Scout. It's a reasonable request from a father who obviously wants to see his son succeed. But here's the thing. The Eagle Award is not really meant for people who need to be dragged across the finish line. It's meant for a select few, and I have no idea if you have the guts to see it through. Statistically, I suspect you do not. Only a small percentage of Scouts make Eagle. So if you fail, there'll be lots of other people with whom you can share excuses. Quitting now might disappoint your dad, but I doubt that he or anyone else will be overly surprised. Anytime you do the same thing as the majority of people, it's not exactly a shock. I'm not trying to be cute with a bunch of reverse psychology. When I was 15, there was nothing that anyone could have said to me that would have inspired me to do something I didn't want to do, especially a stranger with a TV show. So I'm not going to assume that you're any different or pretend that I have some influence or insight that you haven't already heard from a dozen other people who actually know and care about you. I'll just tell you straight up that doing something extraordinary can be very lonely. And most people simply aren't cut out for it. Being an Eagle Scout requires you to be different than most everyone around you. And being different is really, really hard. That's why they call this award an accomplishment. Personally, and for whatever it's worth, the best decisions I've made in my own life are those decisions that put me on the outside of being cool. Singing in the opera, working in home shopping, starring in the school play when the entire football team laughed at me, and especially earning my Eagle were all choices that required sacrifice, hard work, and delayed gratification. I have no idea if you possess those qualities or even envy them, but I can tell you for certain that not getting your eagle will be one of the easiest things you've ever done. Anyway, I have no idea if you would prefer an easy life of predictability and mediocrity, or if you have the passion to follow the road less traveled. Only you get to decide that. Good luck, Mike. So to me, those are some pretty wise words. That Mike Rowe is one smart dude. I also want to share with you a personal anecdote. In addition to being a uniform leader, I've also been a scouting trainer and have taught over 2,000 volunteers in like a dozen different scouting courses. And whenever I ran a class, invariably, I would be approached at some point during the day by a guy who would come up to me and say, "Wow, you're an Eagle Scout? Man, I came that close to being an Eagle Scout too, and I've been kicking myself ever since." So to you younger scouts, don't be that guy. Stay the course and get it done, and you won't regret it, okay? I know we're all proud of Jonathan and Alex and Christophe for getting it done, and I congratulate them on their accomplishments. And moreover, along the way, they've demonstrated the qualities of what is come to be known as servant leadership. Many great leaders and scholars have noted the link between service and leadership. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Said that, quote, "Life's most urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" Mahatma Gandhi is quoted as saying, "You'll find yourself in service to your fellow man, your country, your God." And Albert Einstein said, "It is high time the ideal of success should be replaced with the ideal of service." So I'm pleased to see the unit's continued emphases on service to the community and on teaching young adults how to successfully lead others. And you Eagle Scouts, just understand that from now on, people will be looking to you to lead the way forward. You're about to take yet another oath, and I guarantee you this promise will be one of the most challenging pledges you ever make. And yet, you can handle it. You've proven yourselves and demonstrated your abilities to lead. You are uniquely qualified to be leaders in our society. You have talents and strengths that others wish they had. And so it is your duty as American citizens, and now as Eagle Scouts, to go forth and do great things and lead our country by example. And you can do it. And just remember not to let it go to your head. Okay? Stay humble. Be servant leaders. As a retired military commander and a 30-year Air Force veteran, it is my privilege to have my very own personal challenge coin, which I use to recognize those who, by their example, have demonstrated leadership and carried out responsibility to serve others. I believe the concept of servant leadership is so important that I actually feature it on my coin, right here, servant leadership, check it out. And as a leader, the real job is to stay humble and make it easier for those under you to be successful. Maybe that means getting them the training or the resources like equipment or extra time they need, or perhaps cheerleading them just to give them, some confidence, and maybe checklists or any other specific guidance, and then getting the heck out of the way and letting them do their job. Whatever it is that they need, I guarantee you that if you take care of your people going forward, they will take care of you. When the chips are down, you can count on them. It's that simple. I've enjoyed giving my personal coin to all Troop 200 Eagle Scouts, and now it's my distinct honor to present it to each of you. I hope that you'll keep it in a prominent place, or maybe just in your pocket every day, as a reminder of the good times that we've enjoyed here at Troop 200, but more importantly about the responsibilities that each of you now carry as an Eagle Scout. Please stand up, guys. better not see those on eBay. Okay, so let that coin be a reminder and a challenge to each of you to be a servant leader every day and to remember and honor your oaths and your pledges. America needs you now more than ever. So go forth and do great things. I want to thank you, the audience. You guys have been terrific. Thank you for coming today and supporting these young adults and this unit. And thank you, Troop 200, for fulfilling my dreams. And may God bless all of you as we greet an uncertain future and face new challenges that it brings. And now at this time, what I'd like to do is present the Eagle Challenge. And I invite Troop 200 Eagle Scouts, Kyle Everly. Did Ryan make it, Ryan Franca? Cool. Okay, good job. And Christopher Holovitz to come forward and give the Eagle charge. Guys, take it away.
Can you hear us, everybody? So we're going to do this all together since we're all closely related in some way to the Eagles in question. We have the honor to give you the Eagle Scout charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in Scouting.
The Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history, and you have been counted worthy of this high rank in the Boy Scouts of America.
All who know you rejoice in the achievement. Your position is one of honor and responsibility. You are marked a man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God and country, to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind. This is a great undertaking.
As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your fellow Scouts. Your responsibilities go beyond your fellow Scouts to your country. America and the world has many good things to give you and your children after you, should you choose to have them. But these things depend, for the most part, on the quality of her citizens.
You are here to make the future greater. We charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the high level of service. Live and serve others and inspire those around you.
We charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good.
Christophe, Alexander, and Jonathan, with the high hope that you will always represent the finest of character and citizenship, we charge you to enter the brotherhood of Eagle Scouts and congratulate you, your parents, and your Scout leaders. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call out Mr. Whalen to introduce.
If I could have the three Eagle Scouts come forward, Christophe, Jonathan, and Alex. And you may notice that there are 3 candles that are not yet lit. We happen to have 3 candidates for Eagle Scout. So I think it's time that we light those 3 candles. Those 3 candles actually represent the 3 duties that are written into the Scout Oath. The duty to others, duty to God and country, and duty to yourself. So if the 3 of you would please light those 3 candles for me first before we start. Thank you. So it's my privilege today to give the oath for the Eagle Scouts. And I am sure that we have many Eagle Scouts in the audience. And I would ask that if you're an Eagle Scout, whether recent or in the distant past, if you would please come forward and join our Eagles on the stage. Scouts, if you would please raise your right hand in the Scout sign and repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance.
I reaffirm my allegiance
to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
To the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize.
I thoughtfully recognize.
And take upon myself.
And take upon myself.
The obligations.
The obligations.
And responsibilities.
And responsibilities.
Of an Eagle Scout.
Of an Eagle Scout.
On my honor, I will do my best.
On my honor, I will do my best.
To make my training and example.
To make my training and example.
My rank and my influence.
My rank and my influence.
Count strongly for better scouting.
Count strongly for better scouting.
And for better citizenship.
And for better citizenship.
In my troop.
In my troop.
In my community.
In my community.
And in my contacts with other people.
And in my contacts with other people.
To this, I pledge my word of honor.
To this, I pledge my word of honor.
2. Thank you very much. You guys can please be seated. And Jonathan, Alex, and Christophe, if you could please escort your parents to the stage. And if I could ask Scoutmaster Bauer to come up and help me with this. All right, so we need to get you into uniform here, your complete Eagle uniform. So as it is the, I guess the usual course where the mother is behind the scenes, and we may not see much from them, but behind the scenes, they are certainly back there pushing their scouts along to get to the rank of Eagle, whether they're taking Mike Rowe's advice or not. It is your honor to present your scouts with their Eagle medal. So let me get those for you. All right, and now Scouts, to to recognize all of the help that your mother has given you throughout your scouting career. You will present her with her mother's name. No doubt, your fathers have sacrificed as much, if not more, than your mothers. So it will be the honor of your fathers to present you with your Eagle neckerchief. So Scouts, if you would remove your neckerchief now. I'd like to present you that. Recognition of all their sacrifices, if you would present them with their father's So by the power vested in me by the National Court of Honor of the Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and my pleasure to pronounce you as an Eagle Scout. May the oath you have taken remain true in your heart. And Troop 200, please welcome your newest Eagle Scouts.
All right, thank you, Mr. Whalen. Now, each of our Eagle Scouts will have a chance to say a few words. And first, here to introduce Christophe Maiden is Suzanne Everly. And also, Christophe, you can come up and stand in.
Good afternoon. I have the honor of introducing today's first Eagle Scout, Christophe Maiden. Our families first became acquainted with each other through Pack 645 at Burton Valley. Christophe joined Scouts in 4th grade after talking to David Johansson and his dad. He remembered that the first camp out was awesome, and from there he was hooked. Little did he know that this was just the beginning of a long scouting journey. So in 2011, when it came time to look for a Boy Scout troop, Troop 200 emerged as a front runner for multiple reasons. The first connection he had was with Chris Wickler. Chris's twin sister was a friend of Christophe's sister, and for those of you who know Chris, he's very friendly and outgoing. He was a senior patrol leader at that time. Now, Chris is an Eagle Scout himself from Troop 200, and he recently rejoined the troop as a uniform leader, so we are excited to have him back. Christoph also remembered when TJ Lowe, another Eagle Scout, called him on the phone to invite him to join the troop. He remembered Ryan Summerlin bridging to Troop 200, thinking that was really cool, that bridging ceremony, you get to cross over the bridge. And he remembers Jeff Seacott, a very enthusiastic, still very enthusiastic leader in our troop. These older scouts all made an impact on him and showed him something that he wanted to be a part of. His earliest memories of Troop 200 were at his first camp out, what we used to call pre-camporee. That was in 5th grade, right when you bridge and you go to this camp out to get your first taste of Boy Scout camping before the big camporee competition. He told me he vividly remembered thinking that it was really cool to watch the older boys interacting with the younger boys, and he was inspired by that experience. He also thought it was really cool to earn his totem jib and firemanship. He said it was very exciting in 5th grade to be allowed to light a fire and carry a knife. So though Christoph went to Burton Valley and was in Pack 645, he pretty much knew only the kids in his grade. However, once he joined Troop 200, he got to know other kids from other schools and other grades, including my son Ryan, today's Master of Ceremonies, and Kyle, who gave the Eagle Charge today. Kyle and Christoph became closer friends after the 50-miler. In the spring of 2017, when Christoph was a junior at Acalanes and was touring colleges, he visited Kyle at Gonzaga University. Christoph got a big dose of school spirit when Kyle toured him around campus, because coincidentally, the day that he was there was Gonzaga was playing in their first and only college basketball national championship game. So if you can imagine, the spirit on campus was completely insane. Todd, Christoph's dad, told me that Christoph couldn't believe the amount of spirit on campus, and perhaps that was a big selling point because Christoph ended up going to Gonzaga. Okay, so now back to Christoph's Troop 200 experiences. Christoph had many leadership roles in Troop 200. He was an assistant patrol leader, a patrol leader, bugler, and served on the senior patrol as scribe and assistant senior patrol leader. He took advantage of another leadership opportunity, participating in National Youth Leadership Training, which is a unique opportunity available to scouts. I equate NYLT to, it's like a corporate leadership training for youths. And he liked it so much as a participant that he went back the next year as a staffer. Now, Christoph will tell you that probably 2 of his most memorable scouting experiences in the troop were the 50-miler in 2015 and Emerald Bay in 2016. My sons were on the 50-miler with him, and they all have some very funny stories to tell you if you ask about. In addition to the 50-miler, Christoph shared some other awesome experiences with Ryan, Nick Shaw, Rob Seacott, and others on the 2016 trip to Emerald Bay in Catalina, which is one of the most popular outings for our troop. From the photos I saw, they had a great time, and that week, for the first time ever, Troop 200 won the camp-wide competition. If you were looking at the slideshow earlier, you might have seen a few photos from there. After all these years of knowing Christoph, I saw the most growth in him his senior year. Now, as a lot of you know, senior year can be quite a bear, especially in the first semester when you're writing college applications and essays. And after the fall of his senior year, when his peers were afflicted with senioritis, Christoph submitted his name as a candidate for senior patrol leader in his final semester of high school. He told me that being senior patrol leader had been a goal of his. He didn't have to do it. His college applications were in, he was winding down life in Lafayette. He could have just said, see ya, and be done. But he didn't. He became the senior patrol leader of our troop. Now, there was one other thing hanging over his head at that time. Christoph was still a Life Scout. He had those last few merit badges to finish, as well as his Eagle Project. Now, over the years, Todd and I had talked and had several conversations about what could be done to propel Christoph toward the rank of Eagle. You see, Todd is an Eagle Scout. but we weren't sure if there was anything more that we could do or say that would help him get there. Then Christophe and I were talking last week about his experiences here, and he said, one night, I don't remember if it was spring or summer, he said you woke up and realized that you had to do this. Just like Mr. Spar said, you would regret it. You were so close. You would regret it if you didn't do this. But you weren't quite sure if you could complete those requirements before you turned 18. So we contacted me and asked for some help in an Eagle advisory role. We discussed what still needed to be done, and we came up with a game plan. I didn't hear from you for a while and wasn't sure if you decided to finish pursuing this. Then, just before he was ready to head to college, I got the call that his Eagle Border Review was scheduled. Needless to say, you know the result because we are here to celebrate Christophe. Now, Christophe has just returned from completing his first year at Gonzaga University and is up here today as a proud Eagle Scout. Congratulations, Christophe, on your achievements in both Troop 200 and in college. Please join me in welcoming up to the podium, Christophe Maiden.
Before he gets up there, we got one more thing we got to do. Todd, can you come to the stage? So if you can explain about that and then present that, please.
I'll probably tear up a little bit. This was my ring given me and my Eagle Court of Honor. I want to give it to you.
So if you asked me 1 year ago today, the day after I graduated high school, if I was going to achieve Eagle, probably would have said no. I was, just graduated high school. I was just ready to hit the summer, and my goal was just like summer trips with friends, get a job before college, just have a good time. And another thing I was looking forward to in the summer, because I have a summer birthday, is turning 18. Because that's a pretty cool landmark when you're a kid, becoming an adult, having that extra card in your pocket, mom, dad, I'm 18, I can do whatever I want, all that. But there was another thing about turning 18 that wasn't as cool as some of the other perks, and that was you were not considered a Boy Scout anymore. Once you turn 18, if you want to continue with the program, I think you have to sign up as an adult leader. And also once you turn 18, your scouting is done, you can't continue getting ranks or anything. I remember about a week and a half before my 18th birthday, couldn't sleep one night, and I was like, man, I turned 18 in a week and a half, and I spent the last 8 years of my life scouting, 8 or 9 years of my life scouting, without completing this achievement that I really wanted to do. I started looking over all these great memories I've had with my scouts. The 50-miler, I'll never forget Kyle Everly's reaction when he found out someone in his patrol traded a whole entire bar of Hershey's chocolate for a single cheese wheel. And I'll also just never forget how a deck of cards entertained us for a week and a half, or a week, way out in the mountains, just camping. You have nothing else around you. It was just a deck of cards, just brought us together every single night, every single time we took a break and sat down. Emerald Bay, I'll never forget that experience as well. It's, if you ask any other scout that wasn't in our troop, they probably thought we were the most obnoxious troop and group of kids. But to be quite honest, we were having a blast, an absolute blast, going through every challenge, completing everything, and eventually winning the entire camp award, which was just a great memory. Through NYLT, I had just a great vision to become SPL.
And I did that goal, and it feels great to complete all these visions. And I just want to thank all the scouts that are younger, older, everyone who's really kind of pushed me and given me this inspiration to complete these visions throughout my scouting career. Something I want to leave all of the younger scouts with is 2 things, and that's obviously don't wait to the last minute to get your eagle. And another thing is finish what you started, because whether you are a new scout and you just started, or you're a life scout, you started something a while ago, and it feels really good to complete it. So that's kind of my little words of advice to you guys. Yeah, just a huge thank you to everyone who's here, all my scout leaders on my left. You've provided me with so much leadership, and just you guys go out of your way and provide take so much time out of your lives to organize these campouts and these troop meetings, and it's just amazing that I've had the chance to experience that, and that we have plenty of other scouts to continue doing that. Yeah. Do I present the mentor pin now? Or? Yeah. All right, sorry, I was just confused about that. Someone I want to especially thank is someone who's provided me with knowledge and work ethic that's kind of built to the person that I am today. That is my neighbor, Mason Walters, over here, if you'd like to come up. Mason has just really, he's provided me with not only just jobs to make money, but also just the idea of being responsible, following through with obligations when he gives me something to do, follow what he says, those instructions, and also just knowledge of just things in life in general. A lot of it is just kind of building and yard work and all these kind of cool skills to have. Mason has passed on to me, which I really value. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say other than thank you guys for being here.
Next, here to introduce Alexander Franca is his brother and Troop 200 Eagle Scout, Ryan Franca.
Today I'm going to be presenting to you guys my little brother, Alex. So, we've been together in scouting from when we were cheering on our Pinewood Derby cars up until this very moment where he's being honored as an Eagle Scout. And I'd say out of the many, many stories that we've both adventured on, I'd say the best one that comes to mind was the first time I left to go on my first Boy Scout trip without my brother. And so, before we left, we were having many disagreements over the smallest of things. And so, after that week passed, and when I returned to civilization, I was greeted with a giant hug from an ecstatic Alex. When we arrived home, and when I was cleaning up from the scouting trip, he handmade our 3 favorite food items: pizza, mac and cheese, and chicken nuggets. I knew then that he would grow up into a kind, compassionate young man that you see today, and I'm proud of my brother, Alex Warren.
Good afternoon. My name is Alex Franco, and I want to thank everyone for showing up and supporting me and my fellow Scouts earning their Eagle Award today. I want to start off with some advice for the younger Scouts in the troop. My first piece of advice is eat as much as you can before any outing. Good food is hard to come by on the trail, so don't expect your mom's cooking. Expect burnt, uncooked food. My second piece of advice ties into my first piece of advice. And that's the key on the trail to avoiding hunger is Pop-Tarts. Make sure you have an abundant amount of Pop-Tarts. They're not only good to eat, but they're an excellent thing to trade. Scouting isn't just about showing up to meetings and trying to survive a weekend without 4G service. It's about learning how to take care of yourself, gain responsibility, and respect others. Becoming a leader is something I highly encourage everyone to do, such as being a patrol leader, because it helps you appreciate all the work that your former patrol leaders have put into the role. And once you are a leader, help the others to grow and take up leadership positions as well. Don't be the older scout that doesn't lend a helping hand. Sure, it's fun to barter away pizza in return for first year scouts to set year 10 while you're watching a lawn chair eating Pringles. I've experienced that. But growing into a leader is something I remember and appreciate as being part of scouting. Some of my best memories include staying up and telling stories around the campfire while we all ate s'mores, or getting pressured into doing things that I would never see myself doing, like climbing a chasm hundreds of feet tall, or spelunking in caves. I also enjoyed spending time at summer camp, swimming, rifle shooting, and mountain biking, all unique opportunities which I encourage you all to partake in. And it expands your horizons into something different and new, which you're not normally getting off yet. The troop and my fellow scouts push me into learning and trying new things, which leads me into what scouting means to me. Scouting is about fostering a community around scouting that helps build friendships and offers experiences that I apply into my life beyond scouting. And I wouldn't be able to be here today, where I am today, without all the help of the adult leaders sitting to my left. Some of my fellow scouts sitting in front of me. I'd like to especially thank Mr. Whalen, Miss Yuki, Mr. Shimataki, my mom, my dad, and Mr. Engelhardt, and Mr. Bauer for helping me throughout my time in the troop, especially throughout my Eagle Scout project and rank advancement. Which leads me to my mentor pin. I'd like to present my mentor pin to my mom. Thank you for all the late nights, working on our badges, going to 2-week-long scouting camps, and supporting me throughout scouting. I'd like to present that to you. Thank you.
Next, to introduce Jonathan Holovitz is Troop 200 Scoutmaster Emeritus Paul Shimataki and current Troop 200 Scout Jonah Long.
Hello. It is my distinct honor to introduce Jonathan Holovitz to you all. Jonathan embodies all the characteristics of a scout and more. Behind his shy demeanor lies a good sense of humor, a clear understanding of right and wrong, and most of all, a sense of humility and generosity that I have found in few people. For the past year, Jonathan has taken me under his wing and helped me with the difficult transition from middle school to high school. I would have not survived my freshman year without him, his advice, encouragement, and help. He is always generous with his time and helps others without ever expecting anything in return. His example taught me that I should, and probably need to, apply this attitude to my everyday life. I only hope that one day I'll be able to pay it forward to someone else who may need my help as he has done for me. I'm grateful to him for my positive impact he has made on my life, and I'm honored to call him my mentor and my friend. Jonathan, congratulations on your achievement of reaching the rank of Eagle Scout.
Thank you, John. I zeroed in on one word in his intro, which is humility. And I don't know how many of you know this about Jonathan, but he is a child model.
That's true.
He is. And, if you go out, I think he has his photo display from Miramonte, and you'll see some of his modeling photos in there. Maybe you can get one of his autograph as well. I think also the humility is taught by the abuse you survived while at day camp growing up at the hands of Christopher and Alex. Alex sends his regrets of not being able to be here today. Jonathan, it's been a pleasure to watch you grow up in scouting over the years. You truly exemplify the scout law, especially helpful, friendly, courteous, and kind. The word also that comes to mind is exceptional. You've had an exceptional scouting career, have been able to do things that very few scouts have been able to enjoy. Some of those include attending the National Scout Jamboree in 2013. We have some very good memories from that. Florida Sea Base and scuba diving. And my personal favorite, Philmont Scout Ranch. And we did a 100-mile trek hitting the highest peaks, Phillips and Baldy and Route. Routes that right now you can't do because of the fires that occurred there last year. But through that experience, Jonathan has demonstrated the qualities of leadership that really show everybody how truly exceptional you are as a person, as a scout. We had some challenges on the trail as we were making our way through those 100 miles. Mr. Johansson, who's sitting in the back, did his MacGyver routine and fixed your boots. You stepped up as a leader and really took charge at times when somebody needed to do that. And I think that's probably my most vivid image that I'll carry with me of your scouting, and look forward to what you will demonstrate in the future. For those of you who don't know, also, Jonathan just completed his first year of college at University of California, Berkeley. So, congratulations, and again, I look forward to the future, what awaits.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction, Jonah and Mr. Shimataki. I enjoyed it. I think it was 100% correct. Humility really is my strength. I'm joking. Yeah, now that I'm finally here, I get to say my piece. And leading up to this day, I was wondering what I should really say up here. And I couldn't really think of anything. So that's it. Thanks, everyone. I'm joking again. But I realized when I was considering what I should say up here, that my entire scouting career, like, ever since I was a little kid, like, Mr. Spar was saying he's known me since I was, what, like 2 feet tall or something? Ever since I was a little kid in Cub Scouts, and then eventually bridging into Boy Scouts, I've been seeing a lot of these older scouts up here finally getting their Eagle Award, and just wondering, like myself, if I ever get up there one day, what would I say? And I think it was really a struggle for me to find something to say because, of course, I've already been through this journey. I don't know, sorry, I'm getting nervous. I'm kind of losing my words here. But pretty much what I was going to say is growing up, I saw all of these older scouts standing up here, giving their speeches and talking about their experiences. And one after another each year, I was getting older with them. And eventually, my brother Christopher, sitting down there, he got his Eagle too. And after that, I was in high school and I was, nearing the end of my scouting career. And I realized that the pressure was on me because all these other scouts had Eagled out. And it was my job to finally get the Eagle and kind of follow in the footsteps of my brother and really get this achievement. And I gotta say, even though that pressure was on me, and this is something I'd been expecting and working towards for so many years, I really lost a lot of motivation. And it was really hard for me to find the determination that Mr. Spar was talking about to really get the job done on my own accord. And so that's really what I want to talk about here today. And this is specifically for you younger scouts here. Because after all these years, even though it took me a really, really long time to finish up my Eagle, really the one thing that got me through it were the fantastic adult leaders that our troop has. And I can't talk about all of them today because there's so many people who really helped me get to this point. But I want to say that my mother, Helen Holobetz, and also former ASM, and also Mr. Shimataki, a long time, former Scoutmaster, actually, and I would say a personal friend. Can I say that? Can we say that we're friends, Mr. Shimataki? It's shy, but I would say that. Yeah, so my mother, former ASM Holobetz, and Mr. Shimataki, they really got me through a lot of the struggle and really just helping motivate me and encourage me and showing me that I can get this stuff done. As long as I have the confidence, I was able to get here. And I think that's really what stuck with me, just having these fantastic adult leaders, along with all the other ASMs we have up here, and the many more that were not able to make it today. Really, that's what I want to impart on you scouts before I go. If you guys ever have any lack of determination, or you think that you're not going to make it, just like I did, and it seems like Christophe did too, and we both had times of struggle, just keep in mind that there are people to help you there. Just ask for help, and there are a lot of people that are going to help you get through those times. And once you get to this point, you're not going to regret it. So after that jumbled speech, I'd like to say for my mentor pins, I actually have two, because I definitely could not have done it without these two people, but it's the two that I mentioned. So my mother and Mr. Shimataki, can you guys please come forward? So my mother, not only did she, of course, take care of me as a little kid and do all those things that, parents have to do that gladly I don't have to worry about yet. But as an assistant scoutmaster, she really helped me in my scouting career. She pushed me forward. She helped me with merit badges when I needed help. She was a scout leader at Wolfboro for many, many years, one of the most fantastic camps out there. And so yeah, I really just thought I could not have done it without your encouragement and you just nagging me constantly because we knew I needed it. Yeah, thank you so much. So let me find that pin. All right, get lost. And Mr. Shimataki, as a longtime family friend and a former scoutmaster, he too has really stepped up above and beyond and really put in so many dozens of hours, trying to get me to finish merit badges, just encouraging me and just helping me out, really, wherever I needed help. He was always there, late nights on the weekends whenever I needed help, finishing some requirements for a merit badge. I think he's helped me with probably half a dozen of them, I would say. So really, he's really been pretty much family my entire scouting career, and I really respect him, and I consider him a friend, and I just really appreciate him being there alongside me.
Thank you, Eagle Scouts, and congratulations on your achievement. Now, I invite District Representative Bill Liu to officially close this National Court of Honor, followed by Clark Lasky, Troop 200's Chaplain's Aide, to give our benediction.
Fantastic afternoon. Let's give Ryan just a large round of applause. 11 years ago, in this room, Gordon Sparr's Eagle Court of Honor was here. Who was here 11 years ago for Gordon? Well done, Dad. So on behalf of the district and the council, I extend a huge word of gratitude to all the scouts and all the parents who aren't here, all the leaders of 200 that provides the fantastic leadership to the troop. And if you ask John, you can hear about the number of scouts. It was back 11 years, well, it was actually 06 when the troop formed, to what we have today, to include what we have now, Troop 200 girls. Fantastic, all of you, well done. Well, let's see, Christophe, Alex, Jonathan, I had a chance to look at your Eagle project. I saw how you provided the special needs tools for adults in Lafayette, provided community service to Our Savior Lutheran Church, provided thousands of meals to third world country. Well done. Well done. By the power vested in me by the National Council of Boy Scouts of America, I hereby declare this Eagle Court of Honor a National Court of Honor, officially closed. Well done, Troop 200.
Please prepare yourself in the manner that you are accustomed. May God's blessing follow us all, especially our Troop 200 Eagle Scouts honored today. May we walk safely along the pathways of our dreams. May God's gentle hand guide the decisions we make and the passions that we follow. May our hearts and lives always reflect His love and truth, and may hope be a light within us all that we carry into each new day. In your name we pray, amen.
Today has been a special afternoon. Before we retrieve the colors, I want to thank you all for attending and supporting these Eagle Scouts. The Eagle families invite you to join us for a reception and refreshments in the fellowship hall, down the hallway, and down the stairs. Now let's give our newest Eagle Scouts one more round of applause.
Troop attention. Scout sign. Please join me in reciting the Scout Law. A Scout is
trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and irreverent.
2. Color guard. Fall out and prepare to retrieve the colors. We'll get audience started, risen. Color guard. Forward march.
Color guard, halt. Color guard, retrieve the colors. Scout salute. Color guard, reform. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, retire the colors. 2. Troop to dismiss. Audience, please follow the scouts to the fellowship hall.